Welcome back. Super excited moving forward. In this lesson, just a few slides, maybe 2 or 3 slides, I'd like to highlight important limitations when you work with Amazon Rekognition in terms of the space, the amount of images that you can detect, or the types of attributes you can use, and so forth. So let's get started so that you understand certain limits within Amazon Rekognition. First, let's take a look at the AWS Rekognition image limitation. And then I'll talk about the video and then streaming video as well. But this is by far the major chunk of AWS Rekognition at this point in time. So first, the maximum image size that you need to remember, stored as an S3 object, is limited to 15 megabytes. All right. So you can't really take a 1 gig size photograph and then upload to S3 and then find that, hey, it's not working, right? Because it exceeds, even though S3 by itself has virtually limitless storage, right? So you can store terabytes and terabytes of data in S3 buckets. But if you wish to use AWS Rekognition, then of course you need to remember that you're limited to an image size of 15 megs. Second, the minimum image size is 80 pixels for both height and width. So if you're trying to upload to the S3 bucket a size smaller than 80 pixels in terms of height and width, it's not going to work with AWS Rekognition. And of course, if you use PyCharm and Python to actually bring the attributes or detect face or label detection and whatnot, it's not going to work with these small. So to be detected, a face must be no smaller than 40 by 40 pixels in an image with 1920 and 1080. That's just one of the other requirements. Images with dimensions higher than 1920 by 1080 pixels will definitely need a larger minimum face size. You need to make sure that the images they're higher than 1920 by 1080 pixels. You would need a larger minimum face size. The maximum images size as raw bytes passed in a parameter to an API is 5 megabytes. Okay, so that's important too, especially when you're developing Python programs, for instance, and you're trying to pass in as a parameter, and the size of raw byte is more than 5 megs, it's going to throw an exception or throw an error. Amazon Rekognition supports the PNG and JPEG images at this point in time, right? So either your image has to be in one of these two formats. So which means that the images you provide as inputs to various API operations, such as detect labels and faces, or comparing faces, celebrity faces, must be in one of these supported formats. And the maximum number of faces you can store, or faces rather, you can store in a single face collection is 20 million. Collection is, again, you create a collection of different images together. And finally, the maximum matching faces the search API returns is 4096. Okay, so these are all good questions, and also if you're within the industry, it's kind of nice to know these tips and techniques of AWS, right? And if you're doing some support work or working on a project and some things are not working out, one of these reasons why your images are not being detected properly. Next is the AWS Rekognition video limitations. So video can analyze stored videos up to 8 gigabytes in size. Okay, so the upper cap is 8 gigs for a video and up to 2 hours in length. So you can't really take a video more than 2 hours and have AWS Rekognition analyze that video. And also supports a maximum of 20 concurrent jobs per account. Okay, so these are the basic limitations of. Last but not least, AWS Rekognition streaming video. The Kinesis video input stream can be associated with at most one Rekognition video stream processor and also video stream processor. Both the video input stream and the data output stream, they are both associated with one Amazon Rekognition video stream processor. Okay, so that's the first 2 points. And third is the Kinesis video input stream and the Kinesis data output stream associated with the Amazon Rekognition video stream processor. They cannot be shared by multiple processors. So one processor must be associated with one particular video stream. So I just wanted to cover quickly some of the important limitations that AWS Rekognition at this point in time has. Now, AWS, of course, keeps on changing, so this requirement may be different as we move along. Keep an eye out for these changes, and of course, I'll regularly update all of the lectures. If you have any questions on these, post in the discussion area. I'll be glad to help with this. Let's move to the next lesson.